All right. It is Friday. It's my day off. We're gonna go for a lengthy flight today, like 2.5 hours or so, from Bolivia down to Chile. Weather is, you know what? The weather is not too bad. Doesn't look good in that direction, but I don't think we're flying in that direction. We're flying along the coast, due south. Let's get ourselves started up here. While that engine spins up, we'll initialize our position. Go get our flight plan loaded in from SimBrief. I think we're going to have a nice, relaxing flight today. Hopefully everything will go as planned. Guess we will see. Set of our departure is on runway 28. And we are using the iRobo 1 departure. Get that in there. That looks weird. I don't know why that looks wonky like that. We'll find out. Our arrival, I guess we don't need to set it up yet, but we might as well. Our star is 5D, that doesn't sound right. It's ILS 17 left Y. Pumar transition. No stars in here. Interesting. Huh. I do actually have a star. Check my notes.
Alright, we're pushing Southwest 607.
ILS runway 17, Pumar. The star should have been Simo 5 Bravo. It's weird that that's not... It's not in here. Okay, well, let's see. Let's do our performance setup here real quick. Flight level, cruise will be at 40,000 feet. Our zero fuel weight is going to be 12,500. 12,500. For some reason, we didn't get any ATIS here. Get the second engine going.
Over 607, disconnect cabin gate number Alpha 13.
Okay. Let's assume, our outside temperature is 12 degrees. Looks like the altimeter is 35.9. And let's just assume that there is no wind because we have no information. Dry runway. V1. It's okay, so we'll send those. So rotate speed is 108. Okay. Let's look through these legs here for a second. We gotta clean this up a little bit. Something here looks weird on that display. I'm not too concerned about it because it will be fine. We've got the right approach and everything. And we have ATC, so... What I don't understand is why we have this weird line here. Why can't I navigate through the waypoints? Oh, I'm not in the right mode, am I? Like, what is going on here? This all looks good. Why do we have this weird flying out in that direction? And then, like, why is... There seems to be, like, an additional waypoint here that's way off to the side. That's really weird. Pass, and then iRobo. So what the heck is this? Is it?
Tower 304, start up a pushback up to runway 07 and come ready to check.
Alright, push approved from runway 07, follow the stack, Southwest 304.
No, I don't want to do that. Cancel. How do I cancel? Cancel modification. And I can't clear this waypoint? Huh. I guess we're going to just take off and go direct to iRobo and just follow ATC, because I'm not sure what's going on with this in the plan here. I don't know why that waypoint is in there. And I can't remove it for some reason. Okay.
It's for 2236 ground. For your ATC clearance, please contact 121.3.
121.3 for clearance, thank you, speed 2236.
Take care, bye-bye.
Put in direct to paths. So we're just gonna bypass that weird waypoint that was in there. It's strange. I do like that this kind of works with this thing. All right. What are we looking at here? Let's go through our checklist real quick. Make sure we haven't forgotten anything. That's all good. Passenger briefing. We should get our seatbelt signs on.
May I have your attention, please? At this time, please comply with the illuminated seatbelt and no smoking signs. Thank you.
Primitive, Djibouti 38 on revised squad
Flight controls. Good check.
4617, blue 1, JetBlue 38.
All right. Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike radio check.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike, you are loud and clear.
Sweet. That's good. Good to hear. Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike ready to copy IFR clearance.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike is cleared to Sierra Charlie Echo Lima. Climb via the iRobo 1 departure, with the iRobo transition, then as filed. Expect departure runway 28. Climb to flight level 310 via the departure. Expect higher clearances 10 minutes after departure. Squawk 4602.
Citation
602.
Foxtrot Charlie Mike is cleared to Sierra Charlie Echo Lima. Climb via the iObo 1 departure, with the iObo transition, then as filed. Climb to flight level 310 via the departure. Expect higher clearances 10 minutes after departure. Squawk 4602.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike rear back correct. Altimeter 3056, let us know when you're ready to taxi.
Altimeter 3056 Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike.
7901, continue all possible holding point runway 7, hold George 07. Already contact tower, 118.16, have a safe flight check. Roger, clear to the
Citation Foxtrot Charlie, Mike ready to taxi.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike, contact tower on 118.3, taxi to runway 28 via taxiways Bravo, hold short runway 28.
Tower on 118.3, contact tower on 118.3, taxi to runway 28 via taxiways Bravo, hold short runway 28, Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike.
Ask for some pushback. We're just going to go straight back, just over our right shoulder. Should be a nice, easy taxi. It's just the same gate that we parked at last time too, so I kind of got that right. I don't know why the we seem to be sitting at a slant. That's what I thought it looks like. Like this is very uneven. It seems really bizarre, but I guess that's what it is here. That's all right. Come on in.
Parto 791, they hold short runway 07.
Oh, darn. You know, every time I'm like, I forgot something, I think. I did forget something.
1273, you ready for departure? Affirmative. Line up and wait.
Like, why is this not
1273, line and wait, 07 southwest.
responding? Still configured for the wrong aircraft. There we go. Now I've got throttle control. The brake not off? I thought I turned the brake off. Yeah, it's off. Okay.
United 1269, sorry about the delay. Do you have your company 737 on shore final inside?
United 1269, affirmative.
Roger that. Behind the landing traffic, line up one way behind. United 126.
Behind the landing traffic, line of way, United 12.
Something's... Okay, there we go. I say it's not moving very well. Must have something to do with this weird ground. Like, what is it actually complaining about here? What are we missing? What did I forget? Pitos. Okay, but I mean, I don't need those yet. It feels like we're stuck in like mud for some reason here. Like I'm giving this a lot of power and we're barely moving on the ground.
Wind 080 degrees 25, passing 35, runway 07, clear for takeoff. Runway 07, clear for takeoff, United 1269.
This is taxiway Bravo. Yeah, we're literally driving up a hill here. That weather does not look very nice. Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike, ready for departure runway 28.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike, advise when ready for departure.
Wilco Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike with the 078 at 12 knots cleared for takeoff. Runway 28 squawk 4602.
Cleared for takeoff. Runway 28 squawking 4602. Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike.
32-463, 320 por 1, como publicado.
We will be taking off shortly.
32-463, contacto radar, buenas tardes.
Snow tables, secure luggage, and loose articles. In Chile,
7901. Puerto 7901, they hold short runway 07.
belt and shoulder harness. Thank you.
Well, there is V1 and rotate. We are airborne. Gear up. Flaps up. Engage the autopilot.
Southwest 1273, you ready for departure?
Now,
Line
flight
up
level
wait, runway 7.
change.
1273, line of weight 07, Southwest.
It's quite the turn we're making.
United.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike, contact La Paz Center on 123.9. Good day.
Center on 123.9. Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike.
That one.
Center Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike, climbing to flight level 310.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike, good afternoon. Squawk 4602.
Squawk 4602. Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike.
— 16,000 feet already. Crazy. Oh, look at the weather behind us. Holy crap. We're just leaving that mess behind us.
And Delta 573, contact 1975. 1975, Delta 573, good day. Bye.
Right, heading 190.
Right, 190, American 546.
American 546, contact 121.2.
21.2, American 2546.
We're going to be landing on 17 left. Okay, so everything's going to be a right turn from here. Nice. Beautiful. This plane is such a nice plane to fly.
American 2546, maintain 200 knots under Mavic. After Mavic, comply with the approach. Contact 1975. 1975, after Mavic, comply with the approach. American 2546.
American 2547, descend out to 13000 and maintain 250 knots.
Center 13000, 250 knots, American 2546.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike, climb and maintain flight level 400.
Climb and maintain flight level 400. Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike.
American 2547, contact approach control 121.2 today.
21.2, thanks, American 546. Control, Delta 387, give the Barrow 1, Papa 35.
Delta 387, good afternoon, rated contact via Barrow 1, Papa 10,000, expect ILS aiming to the runway.
Delta 387, right.
United 16 for 124.1.
24.1.
West 599, good afternoon, climb unrestricted to flight level 340.
Climb unrestricted, flight level 340, West 2599.
JetBlue 38. JetBlue 38 with you, 14-6, climbing flight level 180. JetBlue 38, flying to flight level 340, unable flight here to Bravo Tango Oscar. And climb to 340. JetBlue 30, now contact control 124.1. 24.1, JetBlue 30, JetBlue 38, thank you.
Reduce speed 200 knots.
200 knots, Delta 573.
And Delta 573, contact 1975.
1975, Delta 573, good day.
Bye.
Altitude.
Store right, heading 190.
Right, 190, American 546.
American 546, contact 121.2.
21.2, American 2546.
American 2546, maintain 200 knots until Mavic. After Mavic, comply with the approach. Contact 1975.
1975, after Mavic, comply with the approach, American 2546.
American 2547, descend out to 3000 and maintain 250 knots.
Center 13,000, 250 knots, American 2546.
Creative Cloud, go away with your updates.
American 2547, contact approach control 121.2 today.
21-2, thanks, American 550.
Control Delta 37, give the Barrow 1 Papa 35.
This is 387. Good afternoon, rated contact the Barrow 1 Papa 10,000. Expect ILS aiming to the runway.
Delta 387, right?
United 16 for 124.1.
24.1.
Westchester 599, good afternoon, climb unrestricted to flight level 340.
Climb unrestricted, flight level 340, Westchester 2599. JetBlue 38. JetBlue 38 with you, 14-6, climbing flight level 180. JetBlue 38, flying to flight level 340, and flight for flight here to Bravo Tango Oscar. And climb to 340. JetBlue 30, contact control 14611. 24-1, W38, thank you.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike contact Antofagasta Center on 128.3. Enjoy your afternoon.
Center on 128.3. Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike. Center Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike at flight level 400.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike, good afternoon. Squawk 4602.
Squawk 4602. Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike.
Reduce speed 200 knots.
200 knots, Delta 573.
And Delta 573, contact 1975.
Hey, Sean.
1975, Delta
Can we do a bush landing again
573.
in this plane? No. Could you imagine? I mean, I would try that sometime, but not on this flight. This is like a 2-hour flight. This is a long haul for me. How's your Friday, man? That dead sticking stuff was scary. Fun, but scary. And I'm really annoyed that I couldn't pull it off on both attempts. Like, the fact that I kind of landed and then flipped over the plane really annoyed me. So I'm definitely going to be doing that again, but not in this plane. And the weather underneath those clouds looks terrible. Glad I'm up here at 40,000 feet.
6 right, heading 190.
Right, 190, American 546.
Friday's bat, we're going to look at a new house. Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. You enjoyed the bush landings? I did enjoy them too, actually. I think I'm going to do some more of that, especially on those Shack News streams anyways. Not so much on my world tour, because my world tour is about that, about getting around the world. But those Shack Air streams, I think I'll do bush flights every once in a while. Not every time, I don't want it to get too monotonous, but there's definitely, like, there's some cool mods that we can check out. Definitely going to check out the float plane version of that X-Cub that we were flying. And of course next week, I haven't looked at Bhutan yet, but I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be interesting. It's a different, like, one thing I love about the simulator is that there's just so many different things. Like, this kind of flight that I'm doing now is completely different from what we did yesterday, and completely different from landing a float plane in the River Thames in the middle of London, you know? Like, so many different things to do. And I haven't even touched, like, the big airliners, which I guess wouldn't be that much different from flying this jet, other than the size of it. I would imagine the landings and takeoffs are quite a bit different. And then there's some add-ons for those too that simulate, like, passengers and all the stuff you have to do, like loading cargo and all that jazz. I think these are the salt flats of Bolivia, by the way. I think that's salt. It's gorgeous up here. Strange that the weather indicates that there's weather over there and none on our right side. That's not what I see out the window. It's tough to it's tough to keep things fresh, so you have to get creative. Yeah, well,
American 2546, maintain 200 knots on
it depends. Like, I haven't gotten bored with these kind of flights yet. It might be for some people that, you know, if you're not in VR, I get that, but there's definitely lots of different things to do to keep it interesting. Not to mention, I haven't even gotten into VATSIM yet, and I do want to do that at some point still. But I'm still getting comfortable with this plane. And frankly, I think this plane is the one to fly on VATSIM because it's the most well-designed when it comes to the FMS.
Descend out to 3000 and maintain 250 knots.
I feel like it would do the best job at letting me comply with whatever VATSIM throws at me, because I can enter new waypoints, I can go direct to them without crashing the game. Like a lot of the other planes, you can't do that because there's some weird issues still. Well, I also ordered a new VR headset, though I'm not quite sure if they actually have it in stock. Like, I don't quite believe them. They said they do, and they said that they would ship within 1 business day. I doubt that. I don't believe them. It's CDW, but we'll see. They did say they had it in stock. It would be nice to get that, because it's going to have, I think it's quite a bit more crisp and clear, and should maybe be a bit better performance as well for me. It's odd that depending on the plane will dictate the issues you have with the game. Well, it's because they all use different different software, if you will. They all, first of all, they all have their own flight model, so they'll act differently. But mostly these controls are different from plane to plane, and some of them have different issues. If a plane uses the same GPS system, for example, as another one, and that has an issue, then both of those planes have that issue. But shoot, I missed what you just said. I get calls from CRA saying I'm going to jail, so maybe different. This is CDW, not CRA. But I've also been told that I'm going to jail a lot. Design my own plane, jeez. Yeah, I mean there are actually people doing that, so you're not that far off. But I'm actually happy with the ones that I've been flying, and for the most part, you know, once you know what the issues are, you just, you know, for example, if you know that doing a certain thing will cause a problem, you just don't do that. You find a different way.
Control Delta 37,
which is usually doable.
Delta 387, good afternoon, rated contact the upper 1 Papa to 10,000. Expect ILS aiming to the runway.
Delta 387, right.
Like, usually that's not a problem. Oh yes, I know. Flying right on the edge of the speed limit there. So it chirps at me every once in a while. Speaking of CRA, I did do my tax return today, so which is actually what's going towards the new VR headset, if it does in fact ever arrive. I didn't really look at yet. Let's do that real quick. What is the elevation of this airport of our destination? Figured out how to scroll around. Airport elevation is 1555. That's it? Okay. Can I make you do a loop-de-loop on Thursday? Getting money back from the government is great. Indeed it is. We can certainly try that. Yes. Sure. I'll put that on the menu. Why not? Why not? So our minimums... gosh, come on. It's very difficult to do this without moving the mouse. That is one thing that is... Actually, it's not just difficult in VR, it's just difficult anywhere. Trying to scroll this down to like 1750 is what I want. Just 200 feet above the elevation of the airport. There we go. We did it. Yeah, so you mean a loop-de-loop, like you mean actually like a roller coaster loop? So like up and around. We could try that. I don't. I might have to practice that beforehand. I've never done it. But I feel like if it's possible, it would be. I don't know. Well, we'll give it a try. We're gonna have to go up and then down just to pick up enough speed for that thing to make it all the way around. The X Cup doesn't have a super powerful engine in it.
Yep, Blue 38. Blue 38 with you, 14.6, climbing flight level 182.
Yeah, that's what you were thinking. We'll give it a try.
Flying to flight level 340, and enable flight to Bravo Tango Oscar. And climb to 340.
There are, I might try it in a different plane, because there are some actual planes in this game that are, like, you know, the kind of planes that, like, the Red Bull racing team uses to, like, race around. So there are some of those, like, stunt planes in the game. I've never flown any of them. But I think if we're going to try to do something acrobatic like that, we should probably use one of those. Because they're kind of made for that. Because I want to be able to actually pull it off. It would be kind of lame if we just kind of go up and then the engine just sputters and we just kind of fall down, which I predict is what would happen in the X Cup. Mountains out here are unreal.
24-1, W38, thank you.
Reduce speed 200 knots.
200 knots, Delta 573.
I wonder, does this chart tell me the ATIS frequency for that airport?
And Delta 573, contact
It does.
1975.
ATIS departure.
1975, Delta 573, good day.
Bye.
We'll have to try that later and see if we can dial into the ATIS to actually get the weather and the temperature when we get close to our approach. Which is still like an hour and a half away, probably.
6 to right, heading 190. Right, 190, American 546.
Do you want me to check out any houses in your area? I don't think I'm moving out that way, man. I feel like if I would have actually done that, it would have been a few years ago. I'm fairly well rooted here at the moment.
American 546, contact 121.
I think unless I hit some sort of spot in my career where I need a change. But right now things are are very good, so actually going to be looking to buy a house sometime this year around here, depending on, well, not depending on, I think we're going to have to do it. It's time. It is always, dude, there's so many hot singles here according to the internet. They're everywhere. It's amazing. And they're always looking for me. It's very flattering. This definitely looks like South America to me.
American 2546, maintain 200 knots until Mavic. After Mavic, comply with the approach. Contact 1975. 1975 after Mavic, comply with the approach. American 2546.
Yeah, well, you know, some of them are very desperate, apparently. But you're right, I mean, what chick wouldn't be interested in all this cool flight gear I have? That definitely attracts the ladies, let me tell you. Nothing but clouds on the right side. Get a nice view of the mountains here on the left, which is kind of nice.
American 2547, descend out to 3000 and maintain 250 knots.
Center 3000, 250 knots, American 546.
American 2547, contact approach control 121.23.
21-2, thanks, American 546.
I think the rainforests are more on the eastern side of South America, like Brazil and Paraguay and some of those areas that we're going to be getting into. I believe that like we're sort of on the west coast of South America, so like certainly when we were up in Ecuador and Peru, there was a little bit more green, but now like heading to Bolivia and Chile, this looks like what I was expecting. Very mountainous and sort of reddish brown colors. I suspect that, I think from here we head east to Argentina and then back north to Brazil. And I think once we get back north, it's going to be a little bit more green. It's also possible, though, that at these altitudes, we just see like the satellite imagery that looks like this. I'm not sure. It'll be interesting to compare when we get into like Brazil, because you're right. Certainly in Brazil, I would expect to see more jungle or greenery. And I base all my knowledge of South America on TV shows. So, you know. But this looks like the TV shows and the video games that I've played that are taking place in South America, so.
United 16 for 124.1.
24.1. West 599, good afternoon, climb unrestricted to flight level 340. Climb unrestricted, flight level.
I don't think there's anything really holding me back from using the bigger planes, other than it's a whole new system to learn. So, like, I kind of worked my way up, right? Like, I learned the little, so I started just being able to, just trying to figure out how to fly, really, without autopilot too much. And then figure out how the autopilot and the flight management system works on the Garmin G1000, which is like the small one that's used in a couple of planes. It's very similar to the one that was used in the Cup yesterday. Then the TBM 930, because it was known as one that's very well fleshed out, like a lot of the functionality is in. And it's also still very similar, so I learned that. The Longitude Jet uses the same system, more or less, so that's very familiar. And then I jumped over to this one, which has a totally different setup. So, and I've just kind of feel somewhat comfortable with using everything in this airplane. Not everything, but enough that I can follow a flight plan, make small adjustments, and get things done. So I think the next one that I would be interested would be an Airbus A320. There's a really good mod made by a team that's very full featured. And that's very, very popular. How hard is it for a new person to learn to fly? It's not that hard. At least I don't feel like it is. I never. So there's a few training missions they give you at the beginning, and I never I've never actually crashed an airplane because I didn't know what to do or because I did it wrong. I mean, I crashed the airplane yesterday during that landing, but like that wasn't, like that was kind of expected. So they give you like 7 lessons or something. The challenge I had with them wasn't crashing the airplane, it was more like not following it specifically, because they're like, okay, so you have to make a 90-degree turn and climb 2,000 feet, you know, and a lot of times you just don't get those things right. Like you don't get the turn right, or you don't get the altitude right. It's more like that stuff is a little bit more challenging to learn. It's not that difficult to keep an airplane in the air. And then afterwards, you kind of, if you want to learn how to use autopilots, you've got to watch a few videos. But once you understand that system, it's pretty easy too. There's not a whole lot to it. I think the stuff that takes some practice and experience is when things don't work out as planned. Like you've programmed in an approach and you know what should happen, and then that doesn't happen. And now you got to try to figure out what to do yourself. And that takes a little bit of practice, but it's not terribly difficult. I'm sure it's very different from, I mean, you know, it's very different from a real world situation, I'm sure, but I've just, like, you learn a bunch of concepts about things, like how approaches work and how departures work, and, you know, a variety of stuff. What vertical speed is, what flight level change is, nav mode, heading mode, you know, like stuff like that. But they're all every one of those concepts by itself is not difficult to understand. There's just several of them, but once you master a couple of them, you can pretty much fly, I think, any airplane in this game. Like, I'm pretty confident I could fly one of the big ones. I just, like, I would know what I want to do. I just am not familiar with the controls, so I would have to, you know, do some research on, okay, so how do I actually set a flight level change mode in an Airbus, you know, and it's got, you know, maybe another plane has 4 engines. How does that work? Or there's auto throttle. How does that work? You know, like this kind of stuff like that. And then every airplane's different. Like they have different stall speeds. So it's like, okay, well, what's that? Got to make sure that I stay above that speed, and it'll take some practice. But the concepts are all transferable. Like they're all the same. It's just the controls are different. The airplanes are a little different, but in the end, the physics behind flying is the same, whether it's a big plane or a little plane. But yeah, I think the Airbus A320 is one that I will learn at some point. I actually really wonder if I should consider learning it before I fly across the ocean towards Africa, because that's such a long flight. Even though I don't actually think, I'll have to look at it. I know those planes have a longer range. I don't think they necessarily fly any faster than the Citation. Like this jet flies very fast. I don't think an Airbus is any faster.
And Delta 573, contact 1975.
So I don't think I would really gain anything there.
Delta 573, good day. Bye.
But I also do want to learn how to use those other aircrafts and stuff. But I still want to get a little bit more practice under my belt. When I first started, I started on a small plane, and I kind of set myself a target. I was like, I'm going to fly for 10 hours in this airplane before I move on to any other airplane. You know, even if it got a little repetitive, I was like, nope, I'm going to do it up to at least 10 hours in this airplane, then I'll move on to... So I did 10 hours in the Cessna 172, which is like the starter airplane kind of that they teach you in. And then from there I went to a single engine... Okay, let's see here. A320 cruising speed Mach 0.78. Well, right now I'm flying at 0.75, so it's pretty close. You know, that's almost the same speed. They don't actually fly as high. That's at 36,000 feet. I'm flying at 40,000 feet right now. So I don't think there would be that much of a difference, really. Other than the endurance, I think they can fly for longer distances, of course.
6 to right, heading 190.
But so I don't actually think I would gain anything by flying in the Airbus, like time-wise anyways. But yeah, I went from the Cessna to a slightly faster single-engine prop. Then I played around with a dual-engine prop for 10 hours. And then I stepped it up to a turboprop, single-engine turboprop, so that was same idea, but much faster. And a turboprop dual-engine. And then eventually stepped up to this business class jet, which is a very different experience. So like going from a prop to a turboprop is a fair jump because suddenly you can fly much higher and much faster, which means you have to plan things much more ahead of time. And then again, jumping to a jet is a big difference. And I don't know how big of a difference it is to going from a business class jet like this to an airliner. I imagine that would be another fairly significant bump in learning required. Range of 3,300 nautical miles. What's the range on the CJ4? If you can look that up. I don't know off the top of my head.
American 2546, maintain 200 knots until Mavic. After Mavic, comply with the approach. Contact 1975. 1975 after Mavic, comply with the approach. American.
For me, the range isn't as important as time, because I don't think I would ever want to sit for 3,000 nautical miles anyways. Like this flight that we're doing right now is just over 1,000 nautical miles. And that's pretty much like, it's like a 2.5 hour to 3 hour flight, and that's probably literally at the max of the endurance that I can handle before I need a break from sitting here, especially in VR where, you know, I can't just get up and stretch my legs as easily. Okay, yeah, so CJ4 maximum range of 2165 nautical miles. Yeah, I think that is the big benefit of the airliner is the range. We could fly further, but I want to fly the A320 not because I can fly it further or faster, but I want to fly it because it's bigger and because it's a little more advanced and it's a new thing to learn. And I can have a Tim Hortons cup in my cup holder beside me because that's literally like modeled in. And they have some cool features. I think they're working currently on like an iPad that's integrated into the side of the airplane, so you can get some stuff in there. So like there's cool new stuff in there that I want to learn. But I'm also not in a huge hurry because again, like I want to be comfortable with something before I move on to the next thing. And I feel like my confidence in the CJ4 grows with every flight, and I'm getting more and more comfortable with how these systems work. You know, like every time that it sort of starts off with where I like start a flight, and I usually manage to pull it off, but like 5 things go wrong, or I didn't do them right, you know. And then the next flight, only 4 things go wrong. And then the next flight, only 3 things go wrong. And eventually I get to a flight where it's like, you know what? Everything worked the way I planned it. All the things I did were the right things to do. And then I want to get a bunch of those under my belt so that I'm like, I can fly this thing flawlessly now. Because at some point, if I want to do VATSIM, where I talk to real human beings that direct me through the airspace, you know, if somebody says, fly this heading, descend to that altitude, do this, I mean, I can do that now, but if somebody says, you know, okay, so this is my flight plan, they're like, clear, direct, moor me. Like, I want to be able to figure out how to do that without breaking the game, without breaking the plane, without, you know, confusing myself. Because that's the kind of stuff that they would do. And I mean, in this airplane, I'm getting close to the point where I know how to do that. And at some point, I'll have to just take the plunge. But the other reason I haven't really gotten into it too much is because there's not a lot of VATSIM coverage down here in South America anyway. There is sometimes, though. So maybe it's, I don't know, maybe one of these days I should try it. The other complication in my life is VR. It's totally worth it, but it does make everything else more complicated. A lot of the fallback stuff would be to just like, you know, send a message in the VETS and vPilot app or something. It's like, well, that's more difficult to do with a VR headset on. But so far, this is turning out to be a very good flight. It was weird when I started. There was like an errant waypoint in the flight plan. I don't know where it came from. I'm not sure why it was there. I feel like it got loaded in as part of the departure. So I got a Google to get ready to go house shopping with the kiddos. Have fun, Sean. Thanks for stopping by. I'll catch you later. Good luck house shopping.
This is 387. Good afternoon, rated contact the upper 1 Papa 210 at altitude. Expect ILS aiming to the runway.
Delta 387, right?
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike descend and maintain flight level 400.
Descend and maintain flight level 400. Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike.
United 16 for 124.1.
24.1.
Westjet 2599, good afternoon, climb unrestricted to flight level 340.
Climb unrestricted, flight level 340, Westjet 2599.
JetBlue 38. JetBlue 38 with you, 146, climbing flight level 180. JetBlue 38, flying to flight level 340, and enable flight level to Bravo Taco Oscar. And climb to 340. JetBlue 30, now contact control 14611.
24-1, JetBlue 30, JetBlue 38, thank you. Reduce speed 200 knots.
200 knots, Delta 573.
And Delta 573, contact 1975.
1975, Delta 573, good day.
Bye. Right, heading 190.
Right, 190, American 546.
American 546, contact 121, decimal 2.
21, decimal 2, American 254.
American 2546, maintain 200 knots until Mavic. After Mavic, comply with the approach. Contact 1975.
1975, after Mavic, comply with the approach, American 2546.
American 2547, descend out to 3000 and maintain 250 knots.
Center 3000, 250 knots, American 2547.
American 2547, contact approach control 121.23.
21-2, thanks, American 550.
Control Delta 387, give the Barrel 1 Papa 35.
Delta 387, good afternoon, rated contact via Barrel 1 Papa 10,000, expect ILS aiming for the runway.
Delta 387, right?
United 16 for 124.1.
24.1.
West 599, good afternoon, climb unrestricted to flight level 340.
Climb unrestricted, flight level 340, West 2599.
JetBlue 38. JetBlue 38 with you, 14-6, climbing flight level 180. JetBlue 38, flying to flight level 340. For naval flight grade 2, Bravo Tango Oscar. And climb to 340. Blue 30, now contact control 148.1. 141, W 30, W 38, thank you.
Reduce speed 200 knots.
200 knots, Delta 573.
And Delta 573, contact 1975.
1975, Delta 573, good day.
Bye.
Right, heading 190.
Right, 190, American 546.
American 546, contact 121.2.
21.2, American 254.
American 2546, maintain 200 knots until Mavic. After Mavic, comply with the approach. Contact 1975. 1975 after Mavic, comply with the approach. American 2546.
American 2547, descend out to 3000 and maintain 250 knots.
Send a 13,000, 250 knots, American 546.
American 2547, contact approach control 121.23.
21-2, thanks, American 546.
Control, Delta 387, give the Barrel 1 Papa 35.
Delta 387, good afternoon, rated contact via Barrel 1 Papa to 10,000. Expect ILS aiming to the runway.
Delta 387, right.
216 for 124.1.
24.1.
Westjet 2599, good afternoon. Climb unrestricted to flight level 340.
Climb unrestricted, flight level 340, Westjet 2599. JetBlue 38. JetBlue 38 with you, 14.6, climbing flight level 180. JetBlue 38, flying to flight level 340, and for naval flight to Bravo Tango Oscar. And climb to 340. JetBlue 30, now contact control 124.1. 24.1, JetBlue 30, yeah, JetBlue 38, thank you.
Reduce speed 200 knots.
200 knots, Delta 573.
And Delta 573, contact 1975.
1975, Delta 573, good day.
Bye. 26 to right, heading 190. Right, 190, American 2546. American 546, contact 121.2. 21.2, American 2546. American 2546, maintain 200 knots until Mavic. After Mavic, comply with the approach. Contact 1975. 1975 after Mavic, comply with the approach. American 2546.
American 2547, descend out to 13000 and maintain 250 knots.
Send a 13,000, 250 knots, American 2546.
American 2547, contact approach control 121.2
21-2, thanks, American 2546.
Control, Delta 387 to the Barrel 1 Papa 35.
Delta 387, good afternoon, rated contact via Barrel 1 Papa 210 Oscar, expect ILS leaving to the runway.
Delta 387, right.
United 16 for 124.1.
24.1.
West 599, good afternoon, climb unrestricted to flight level 340.
Climb unrestricted, flight level 340, West 2599.
JetBlue 38. JetBlue 38 with you, 14-6, climbing flight level 180. JetBlue 38, flying to flight level 340, and for naval flight direct to Bravo Tango Oscar. And climb to 340. JetBlue 30, now contact control 141.
24-1, JetBlue 30, yeah, JetBlue 38, thank you.
Reduce speed 200 knots.
200 knots, Delta 573. And Delta 573, contact 19.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike, contact Santiago Center on 128.1. Have a good evening.
Center on 128.1. Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike.
1970.
Center Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike at flight level 400.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike, good evening. Squawk 4602.
Squawk 4602. Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike.
Right, heading 190. Right, 190, American 546. American 546, contact 121.2. 21.2, American 254. American 2546, maintain 200 knots until Mavic. After Mavic, comply with the approach. Contact 1975. 1975 after Mavic, comply with the approach. American 2546.
American 2547, descend out to 13000 and maintain 250 knots.
Send a 13,000, 250 knots, American 2546.
American 2547, contact approach control 121.23.
21-2, thanks, American 256.
Control Delta 387, give the Barrel 1 Papa 35.
Delta 387, good afternoon, rated contact via Barrel 1 Papa 210, expect ILS aiming to the runway.
Delta 387, right?
United 16 for 124.1.
24.1.
West 5599, good afternoon, climb unrestricted to flight level 340.
Climb unrestricted, flight level 340, let's hit 2599. JetBlue 38. JetBlue 38 with you, 14-6, climbing flight level 180.
JetBlue 38, flying to flight level 340, and for for flight direct to Bravo Tango Oscar.
And climb to 340. JetBlue 30, now contact control 14611.
24-1, JetBlue 30, JetBlue 38, thank you. Reduce speed 200 knots. 200 knots, Delta 573. And Delta 573, contact 1975. 1975, Delta 573, good day. Bye.
I didn't. Hello. Good girl.
Door right, heading 190. Right, 190, American 2546.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike expect the Simo 5 Bravo arrival with the Simok transition for the ILS approach to runway 17 left with the Puma transition and Arturo Marino Benitez International. After ISCUT cleared direct Simok.
Expect the Simo 5 Bravo arrival with the Simok transition for the ILS approach to runway 17 left with the Puma transition after ISCT cleared direct Simok. Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike.
American 546, contact 121.2.
21.2, American 254.
American 2546, maintain 200 knots until Mavic. After Mavic, comply with the approach. Contact 1975.
1975 after Mavic, comply with the approach, American 2546.
American 2547, descend out to 3000 and maintain 250 knots.
Send a 13,000, 250 knots, American 254.
American 2547, contact approach control 121.23.
21-2, thanks, American 254.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike descend to cross Simok at flight level 300 then descend via the Simo 5 Bravo arrival with the Simok transition to 7,000 feet altimeter 2988 at Arturo Marino Marino Benitez International.
Will cross CMOC at flight level 300, then descend via the Simo 5 Bravo arrival with the CMOC transition to 7,000 feet, altimeter 29 rate 8 citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike.
Control Delta 387, give me bar 1, Papa 35.
Delta 387, good afternoon, rated contact via bar 1 Papa 210 South, expect ILS aiming to the runway.
Delta 387, right.
United 16 for 124.1.
24.1. Shift to 599, good afternoon, climb unrestricted to flight level 340. Climb unrestricted, flight level 340, let's shift to 599.
May I have your attention, please? We will be landing shortly. Please turn off all portable electronic devices, snow tables, secure
Jet Blue
luggage,
38.
sorry.
Jet Blue 38 with you, 14-6, climbing flight level 180. Jet Blue 38, flying to flight level 340, and enable flight direct to Bravo Tango Oscar.
Please remain in your seat.
And climb to 340.
Securely fastened until the aircraft is to a complete stop. Departing. Thank you.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike, contact Santiago Center on 119.7, enjoy.
Center on 119.7, citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike. Center citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike, descending to flight level 070.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike, good evening. Squawk 4602.
Squawk 4602, citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike.
Jet Blue 30, now contact control 14611. 241, Jet Blue 30, Jet Blue 38, thank you. Reduce speed 200 knots. 200 knots, Delta 573.
And Delta 573, contact 1975.
1975, Delta 573, good day.
Bye.
Right, heading 190.
Right, 190, American 254.
American 546, contact 121.2.
21.2, American 254.
May I have your attention, please? The captain has turned on the seatbelt sign. Please fasten your seatbelt and shoulder harness at this time. Thank you.
American 2546, maintain 200 knots after Mavic. After Mavic, comply with the approach. Contact 1975.
1975, after Mavic, comply with the approach, American 254.
American 2547, descend out to 3000 and maintain 250 knots.
Send a 13,000, 250 knots, American 254.
American 2547, contact approach control 121.2 today.
21.2, thanks, American 254. Control, Delta 37, to the Barrel 1, Papa 35.
Delta 387, good afternoon, rated contact via Bar 1 Papa 210,000. Expect ILS aiming to the runway.
Delta 387, right.
Oh, hey, Sean. No, haven't got lost yet. You're just in time. We're about to land. It's been this long of a flight, man. How was the house hunting?
United 16 for 124.1.
24.1.
This is beautiful. The yard was way too small for the kid. Oh yeah. I guess that's important. But yeah, we're getting close to our approach transition here. We're descending down to 7,000 feet. Starting to get down to where we can see stuff on the ground again here. Signs of civilization down here in Chile.
12599, good afternoon. Climb unrestricted to flight level 340.
Climb unrestricted, flight level 340, wish at 2599.
I think that is a river from this altitude. I wondered about that too, but I'm pretty sure that's a river, not a road. Lily, what the fuck? Jesus, cat. Yeah, no, that's a river. This looks like quite a nice valley down here.
JetBlue 38. JetBlue 38 with you, 14-6, climbing flight level 182. JetBlue 38, flying to flight level 340, and enable flight direct to Bravo Tango Oscar. And climb to 340.
Everything so far is looking sweet for this approach. Everything is looking just right. It's beautiful down there. I bet. Look at, I mean, imagine being down there and looking at those mountains.
JetBlue 30, now contact control 14611. 241, JetBlue 30, JetBlue 38, thank you.
The Rio Grande Oguape River? Could be. We should be just north of, what is this, Santiago? I mean... it could be. I mean, you can see kind of on the mini-map there where we are. Unless that has stopped tracking. Has it? It's kind of... things are looking good. It's kind of a straight-in approach, so there's not much going on here. I'm just going to be coming in. So what's our speed at? 286. All right, cool. We're slowly starting to slow down.
Reduce speed 200 knots.
But we need to slow down a bit more. Be at 7,000, then 5,000 for a couple of waypoints, and then our final landing. Term. Okay, so we are entering the area of our approach here now. I forgot exactly what that means.
And Delta 573, contact 1975.
1975, Delta 573, good day.
Bye.
I don't see any of Rumpel's bears. Was he happy with his purchase last night? He was. I think he really enjoyed that flight. There was a bear in Jasper. There were moose. There was it was really nice. I think he enjoyed it. I enjoyed it too, actually. It was a fun diversion into the Canadian Rockies.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike altimeter 2988 at Arturo Marino Benitez International cleared for the ILS approach to runway 17 left at Arturo Marino Benitez International with the Puma transition.
Altimeter 2988 cleared for the ILS approach to runway 17 left with the Puma transition. Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike.
That means we can label our approach mode.
6 door right, heading 190.
Right, 190 American 546.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike descent via the Puma transition to 5,000 feet.
Descend to 5,000 feet via the Puma transition. Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike.
And I love how VPath is working perfectly this time. So far anyways, we'll see here. VL captured. There we go, it should take us out of 5,000, right? Yep. Why is path crossed out though?
American 546, contact 121.5.
Oh, because we're not quite at Pumar yet. Okay. So we've got 3 nautical miles at 7,000 here, and then we should descend down to 5 automatically. No, we're already past Pumar. No, we're not. That's weird. Oh, yeah, we are. There we go. For some reason that got foobarred. It's like the path stopped. It was like, you were good. It's like, no, actually we're not. I had to turn it on again. Well, that's alright. It's going to take us down to 5,000. It's doing it right now, so.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike altimeter 2988 at Arturo Marino Benitez International contact tower on 118.1. Good day.
Altimeter 2988 tower on 118.1. Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike. Tower citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike inbound for ILS approach runway 17 left.
Glide slope.
Citation
We got glide
Foxtrot
slope.
Charlie
We've
Mike
got glide slope.
Squawk 4602 continue ILS to runway 17 left.
I see the runway already.
On final.
Continue ILS to runway 17 left will call when established on final. Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike.
Localizers. We've captured the localizer and the glide slope. So that's good. Everything is lined up. Now we just need to slow down a little bit here, which we will soon. Lily, I do not need you by my feet right now, cat. Read the room. As if she could. Like, flaps is usually at 200, so how do we get down to 200? Really? Did I not update my description? What does it say? Peru to Bolivia still? Like, did it not change? Because that's the only thing I can think of. Because I thought I changed it for sure, unless it didn't save.
Delta 900, take Delta and contact ground point 9, expedite to traffic on shore 5.
Yeah, shut the engine off. I don't want to do that, Sean. I don't want to do that. I might have to use some speed brakes here. Let's see if we can get the speed brakes on to slow down a little bit. The gear is going to help us. Oh, it didn't change. Okay, well that's too bad. That's fine. I'll change it after. It's not a big deal. There we go. Now we're on a better speed here now. Flaps 35. Probably let go of the speed brakes now. I forgot to send the VREFs for the approach speed, but it's usually around 100. So we're just going to go with that. Gear is showing down, 3 green, looking good. I expect perfection from you, so I'm disappointed when you make us. I know. Well, to be fair, I did change it. It just didn't save for some reason.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike winds are 218 at 14 knots, cleared to land runway 17 left.
Clear to land runway 17 left. Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike.
Southwest 122, expedite vacating Delta, contact ground point 9.
500. Autopilot. Minimums.
Added 1187, traffic vacated the runway at Golf, Cessna Caravan, wind 070 degrees 30, gusting 40, runway 7, clear to land. Runway 7, United.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike exit runway when able.
But we landed. I didn't get a landing indicator, did I? Did I miss it? I may have missed it, to be honest.
Southwest 604 to 160 knots. Southwest 602 to 160 knots.
Yeah, I did not get any. Yeah, I wonder if I.
Southwest 602. That's great.
I wonder if for some reason it didn't record it, which would be annoying. No, it's not because I named the video the wrong title. Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike, clear of active.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike, welcome to Arturo Marino Benitez International Contact Ground on 122.2. Enjoy your evening.
Ground on 122.2. Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike, request taxi to parking.
Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike taxi to General Aviation parking via Taxibase Hotel, India.
Taxi to General Aviation parking via Taxiways Hotel, India. Citation Foxtrot Charlie Mike.
Okay, so Hotel, India. All right. Cool. This looks like this is India. This looks like the right area, for sure. General Aviation parking. World's biggest swimming pool is in Chile, 1,000 yards long. Jeez. What is that, 10 football fields? That is a long swimming pool. This guy doesn't have the nice little pointy sticks, but we're just going to park next to him. He looks friendly enough. All right. Let me have a quick look to see why we didn't get any kind of landing indicator here. That's because I forgot to start that app. Darn. And now it's not going to track it, which means I have to re-fake that flight. That sucks. I forgot to launch that app. 10 football fields. I'd lose at least one kid in that bad boy. Well, let's shut her down. And that was a very long flight, but a very successful flight. Thanks for hanging out, Sean. I will talk to you all soon. Have a good weekend. Take care.